Seeing Matt and Frank interact in Daredevil Born Again got me thinking about the first time they met, and how brutal it was the whole time. Starts off with a guy named Grotto wanting to leave Hell's Kitchen because of a massacre of the Irish mob. He goes to Nelson and Murdoch because of the reputation of taking down the Fisk. So he tells them everything. Despite who he is and what he does for extracurricular activities, they reluctantly take his case. That's when he decides to take a nap because turns out he got shot. Karen takes him to the hospital while Matt and Foggy go to the crime scene to gather information. As soon as they got there, Matt realized, wait a minute, I'm Daredevil, I can find these people on my own. Way faster than these schmucks. His findings led him into an abandoned butcher shop, where a couple of guys were hung up like slaughtered cow meat. One of them miraculously was still alive. He tells Daredevil that it wasn't a group, but a man, just one man. The next shot we see is a guy walking in the hospital. We don't see him, but he's walking with conviction, rage, and a shotgun, so we can already guess that it's Frank Castle. Karen sees the man with a shotgun and takes Grotto, and they start booking it. They run as fast as they can, and they got into a car, and it looks like they got away until a sniper is trained at their position. This fight is a bit too dark, so I'm gonna brighten up the screen a little bit. There we go. Frank's about to take the shot when he gets kneed in the face. Frank tries to shoot him, but gets kneed again. He throws the rifle, then smoothly dodges a shotgun blast. You see how my boy did it so nonchalantly? Frank tries to use a shotgun a few times, but Matt keeps countering. He gives Frank Castle a series of punches. Punches that ends with a slow-mo double kick. Most people in that situation would have been knocked out. 1, 2, 3, game over. But Frank quickly gets up, headbutts him, gives him a couple of right hooks, with the last one being a haymaker knocking him down. After that, he decides to just dip, and Daredevil's pissed. But to be honest with you, I don't know of which. The fact that he pointed a gun at Karen, or that he just leaves after the middle of a fight. Boy, if you don't get back here and end this! Daredevil catches up to the Punisher, but again, this nigga does always something so unnecessary with fighting that always gets him hurt. Frank kicks him in the face. They wrestle for a little bit until he gives Daredevil a body slam, but he quickly recovers with a roundhouse. Daredevil starts pulling another combo that manages to get Frank knocked down again, only for him to pull out his side piece, and then, bang! Daredevil gets shot. In the spine, I came with the fellas. Now, if you know the show, this is not the only time they have a fight, but we gotta skip over a lot of stuff. But to summarize, Matt survives the shot, but became deaf and blind for a good minute. The DA and the NYPD are using Grotto as bait to capture the Punisher. Okay, caught up. The Punisher has the sniper locked on Grotto, until a smoke grenade is thrown and Daredevil double kicks his face. The cops all start firing. Daredevil uses his baton to get a gun away from him, and he was going to use that same baton to do a bitch slap, but he misses, gets tackled into the ground, but recovers. Daredevil beats down Frank with the baton, but Frank was able to grab it, and look what Daredevil does. An unnecessary move. An unnecessary ass move. I swear, this guy does this for two reasons. One, he can't help but aura farm. Or two, he's doing this because he gets bored or something. I don't know. Make the fight more zesty? Like... That's what you get, Maddie. That's what you get. The police are still firing bullets at them, but Frank manages to get a hit on Daredevil. He then ducks for cover. Daredevil gets up and does the same. Frank charges at the devil but misses, but he does get a headbutt and a punch. Daredevil counters with a spinning back kick. One of the cops manages to get a shot off Frank. Daredevil tackles the Punisher, then dodges one of Frank's right hooks. It gives him a nasty set of punches that makes him look like a bobblehead. But with the last punch, Frank blocks, grabs his neck, and gives him a choke slam that The Rock could be proud of. They both get up and have a stare-off, looking like they're about to continue, but Matt's senses are going haywire, which gives Frank an opportunity to capture the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Daredevil wakes up and he's chained up to a chimney. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is peakness personified. Not only is one of the best episodes of the show, but the best of the 2010s. Because they're not fighting with their fists, they're fighting with their ideologies. Frank is on the side of criminals being scum, and they should be put down and stay down to make sure they never do those crimes again. Daredevil is on the side of redemption, that everyone deserves a second chance and no one is above the law and take a life. Their entire conversation ends with Frank saying this cold-ass line.
You know what I think you, hero? I think you're a half measure. I think you're a man who can't finish the job. I think that you're a coward. You know the one thing that you just can't see? You know you're one bad day away from being me.
Incredible.
This all culminates into a decision. Frank was able to find Grotto, and when Daredevil was knocked out, he taped a gun around his hand, giving him a choice. Let Frank kill him, or Daredevil kills Frank to save Grotto. Either way, he kills. Obviously, Daredevil's not gonna take the shot, so Frank gives him more of an incentive. He forces a confession out of Grotto. He says that one of the things he had to do to move up the ranks was to kill a target for the Irish mob. The guy's wife saw the whole thing, so he had to take care of her. Despite hearing this, Daredevil is still not going to kill him, so Frank speeds up the process. He's gonna count to 3, and if he doesn't do anything, he's gonna kill him. Daredevil, in rage, uses the gun to shoot the chains, and then charges at Frank, but he was still able to shoot Grotto. When Daredevil was helping Grotto, Frank used that distraction to blow up an entire biker gang's motorcycles. Daredevil uses the chain to knock out Frank, and then he tries to take him out of there as quickly as he could, until an old man was about to get jumped, so Daredevil clocked in for another shift. Now this hallway fight is tough, but unfortunately, this is a video about the Punisher and Daredevil, so we're gonna have to skip this one. I know it sucks, but I got to for the sake of the video. Bear with me, please, y'all, please. After Daredevil finished the fight, it looks like Frank got away. In the 4th episode, the Irish are looking for the Punisher. They even found his hideout and took his damn dog.
What the dog doing?
They eventually find him, but he took some of them out before they got him. See, the Irish want more than to kill the Punisher, but they're also looking for the money that he stole. So they beat him, torture him, even threatened to kill the dog. But the Irish didn't realize that the devil was sneaking up in their corner. Frank eventually tells them where the money is, only for the guys to pick it up to get... Without them looking, Frank pulls out a razor inside his forearm that he put in earlier because he knew he was gonna get captured. Then with one hand grabs the gun, stabs the guy with the razor, and this guy over here decides to not only look away, but walk away casually. Like he just not brutally tortured a guy relentlessly and see him escape and not coming after you. If that were me, I would be booking it. He fires 2 shots and then kills the other guy. He grabs a shotgun and shoots a guy coming in. He points the gun at him and asks why he killed his family, because the Irish mob were there the day his family died. And I feel like he's gonna tell him everything he needs to know. Not because of the fact the gun is pointed at him, but I think deep down, I think he's quite decent.
Your family? Who cares?
Wow, man. Damn.
Frank tries to get ready, but the only person that shows up was the devil, ready to take his confession. At this very moment, they decide to work together. They both get into cover. 3 guys show up, Daredevil takes the last guy, while Frank takes 2 of them, kicking one and throwing the other. Daredevil deflects Frank's shot, then does an unnecessary move, but this time it works. Then he beats on another guy. Frank grabs a hammer and is about to murk the other fool, but at the last second, he stops him without even looking. Daredevil throws a baton on one of the other guys to end the fight. Frank is beaten and battered. Daredevil picks him up and carries him up a hill to a graveyard. He puts him down while they wait for the police. While waiting, Daredevil asks what is that phrase and what's the meaning of it. Frank is genuinely surprised. Every time he says those words, it's always with a soft and quiet tone. In that moment, he might actually believed he was the devil, but he tells him anyway. During his time overseas, Frank never really got scared, nervous, or cried when his buddies died in action. The only time he felt all 3 is when he saw his family again, especially his daughter. The night he came back, she wanted him to read a bedtime story, but Frank was unbelievably tired, and he tells her that he will do it another day, but unfortunately, that day never came. In that bedtime story, it had the phrase, 1 patch, 2 patch, penny and dime. This story alone made the man without fear shed an actual tear. The last shot is Frank being arrested and being pulled into an ambulance, and we see Daredevil looking upon his city like a guardian devil, thus concluding how Daredevil met the Punisher. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.